The merchant galley teetered on a cresting wave and pitched forward with a sickening lurch. Estelle's heart battered her ribs like a leashed falcon desperate to take flight. She drew in a breath, then regretted it. The air in this cramped cabin smelled of sweat and seawater, and her chest felt weighted by stones. Each time she opened her eyes, there was nothing but blackness, thick and cloying as syrup. Signora Rosso snored lightly beside her, oblivious to Estelle's suffering. Surely a night had never passed so slowly. When would dawn come? When could she wake her chaperone and escape the galley's hold? The anxious thoughts came faster and faster, goading her pulse into a wild rhythm. She pressed her hands over her heart, willing it to slow. Calm yourself. Find a thread of a memory and pull. She hurtled back in time a dozen years, imagining the oak-studded hills of Auvergne, land of her birth. In her mind's eye, she saw a young girl picking daisies in a lush meadow. There I am. But where is Etienne? She conjured up her brother's figure emerging from the shadow of an oak tree, racing through the waist-high grasses. Come, the mare's had her foal. Estelle smiled in the dark, remembering the joyous exuberance of his shout. She made a circle of her hands, weaving together imaginary daisies. On that long-ago day, had she placed the crown of flowers upon Etienne's head? Kept it for herself? Abandoned it in her excitement to see the newborn foal? Sleepiness crept into her mind like mist, stealthy and silent, ready to claim her. Then the wavering blare of a horn tore the memory into shreds. She dragged her eyelids open, anticipating the second trumpet blast, the signal that dawn had arrived. When it came, she said a silent prayer. A day's voyage left to Cyprus. The captain said last night, Santa Maria, I beg you, protect us on these seas today. Signora Rosso? She said. It's dawn. The trumpeter gave the signal. We can go above decks. The widow groaned. Do you ever sleep, child? Not trapped in a ship's cabin, as I've told you each day since we left Rhodes. Estelle stood, smoothed her wrinkled skirts, straightened her cloak. She longed for a bath. Please, Signora, you say yourself it's better up there. You can breathe. You can think. The saints hear your prayers. Give me a moment. Signora Rosso's voice was roughened by sleep. You may be able to spring out of bed light as a feather, girl, but not all of us are 17 anymore. Estelle bounced on her toes while the widow hauled herself out of bed, checked the placement of the rosary beads around her neck, and adjusted the folds of her long black cloak. I think I finally got my sea legs. My head stopped spinning for the first time since we boarded this galley. God be praised. Signora Rosso shuffled to the door and unlatched it. Carry my cushion, will you? It's already under my arm. Estelle fought an urge to push past her chaperone and take the steps 2 at a time. Above decks, the wind had died down to a soft breeze. The ship rolled gently in barely perceptible swells. The crewmen gathered in the bow, receiving orders from their commander for the morning's tasks. The oil lamps lashed to the masts still burned, for fog blurred the horizon in every direction. Soon, though, the sun's rays would warm Estelle's skin, chase away the last tight bands of dread constricting her chest.